Welcome to today's deep dive. So, picture a home office that weighs several tons. It's packed with custom oak cabinets, heavy executive desks, and, well, it's floating 11 meters in the air with literally nothing underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds completely impossible.
Right, exactly. So today we are diving into an architectural monograph on the Grama House, which is this staggering 2025 residential project in São Paulo. Our mission here is to explore how architecture is, rapidly evolving to meet these intense new demands of the remote work era.
And whether you are actively redesigning your own space right now, or you just appreciate brilliant engineering, this project completely redefined what a home office can actually be. I mean, we're way past just squeezing a desk next to a guest bed.
Oh, for sure. But to understand why this building is so massive, it's an 1,800 square meter layout, by the way. We first have to look at the modern lifestyle driving it. It's located in Fazenda da Grama, which is about a 45-minute commute outside of São Paulo.
Right, and that 45-minute distance is crucial context. Historically, properties out there were just, weekend getaways. But the Grama House represents this major shift toward a highly integrated co-primary residence. The owners, a couple with 3 kids, aren't just escaping the city, they're actually bringing the city's functionality with them.
Bringing the city and also bringing a private artificial surf beach that generates 2-meter waves.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It sounds like a luxury resort just crashing into a corporate headquarters. I mean, how do they actually balance high-end entertaining, kids running around, and focused executive work without the whole place feeling like a chaotic hotel?
Well, the solution is all in how the house literally embeds itself into the earth. They had to fit this massive list of required rooms onto a 1-acre lot with a jagged, irregular boundary.
Like the teeth of a saw.
Exactly. Because the property line was so uneven, they couldn't just drop a giant square box on it. So to avoid tearing up the landscape, they stepped the house down into the natural slope, creating this really smart split-level design.
Which keeps the daily routines step-free, flowing effortlessly on a single plane. But while the main house sort of recedes into the terrain, the executive office does the exact opposite.
Right. It projects straight out into the air. It's an 11-meter cantilevered wing just hovering right over the driveway.
Okay, I have to push back on the logic here because that sounds insane. We know that with an unsupported span, the risk of structural sagging increases by the cube of the span's length.
Oh, absolutely. The physics are terrifying.
Right. Every extra meter makes it exponentially harder to keep rigid, so why even take the risk? Why not just stick a single concrete pillar under the edge? You've got the heaviest fixed millwork and active loads at the very far edge of a floating room. It feels like an unnecessary flex.
It is a massive flex,
Okay.
but adding a pillar completely ruins the illusion. The goal was to create this massive floating canopy to shelter the driveway below, while giving the office an unobstructed floating perspective of the landscape.
So how do they pull off that gravity-defying trick without the whole thing sagging?
They hid a skeleton of heavy steel trusses inside the walls of the office itself.
Oh, wow. So the walls are basically acting as bridges.
Yes, exactly. They transfer all that extreme weight back to deep 50 by 50 centimeter reinforced concrete columns, which are anchored way back in the foundation behind the visible structure. So the office stays perfectly rigid, and you never see the heavy lifting.
It's like a duck gliding gracefully across a pond, Above the surface, you just see this beautiful natural wood and rough-cut stone. but behind the walls, it's paddling furiously.
That is a perfect analogy. Massive steel trusses are doing incredible amounts of work to keep the whole thing afloat, and that's how they keep the vibe so consistent between the indoors and outdoors.
Right, they used weather-resistant Akoya timber and rough-cut natural stone on the exterior.
And then brought those exact same tactile materials inside, alongside European oak panels and that classic mid-century Brazilian furniture by Sergio Rodriguez.
They even disguise the climate control. They use passive cooling elements like motorized sun shading screens.
Yeah, those screens actually track the sun's movement throughout the entire day.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they automatically adjust to block the harsh light. It naturally lowers the internal temperature of a glass-walled office, so you don't have to rely on loud, massive air conditioning units. It regulates the environment totally organically.
Which just goes to show that the Grama House proves high-functioning spaces don't have to feel sterile or mechanical. I mean, brilliant design can completely hide the technology and structural engineering required to support executive-level work.
Definitely. It seamlessly integrates the intense demands of modern life so well that you completely forget about the tons of concrete and steel holding it all up.
But it leaves you with a really fascinating question to ponder. If homes can now flawlessly simulate an executive corporate suite and an ocean surf beach all 70 kilometers inland, what does that mean for the future of our cities? Are we designing ourselves out of needing the outside world at all? Or have we just traded that compromised spare bedroom office for a beautifully engineered fortress?